What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Sorry I've been MIA. It's been craziness going on. My computer crashed back around Thanksgiving in 2019. Just got a new setup at the house. It's amazing. Speaking of the house, I'm not at the house right now. I'm traveling for work, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in Ohio, and I couldn't get to sleep. I got into the hotel like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up, so I figured, I got some free time. Might as well do a video for you guys. So a couple weeks ago, Angel Diaz reached out to me, one of the subscribers on the channel, wanted to know about my process with flipping cars and how they could get started with it. And I'd be more than happy to help. So what I'm going to share with you guys is just my personal experiences with flipping cars, my suggestions, my recommendations. Doesn't mean any of this stuff is right. This is just what I learned along the way and how I do this stuff, and feel free to tweak this how you'd like, but this is just a safe way to make some money. Don't spend too much. Know what you're getting yourself into, kind of like a heads up on what to do. So got a few things I want to cover here. First one is how do you get started. Next is managing your budget, staying consistent, to keep money coming in, what to avoid, the budget. That's really important. The budget for this is key to like the whole thing. Your capabilities, and how long can you do this, how much time can you invest in this, and then lastly, are you doing this by yourself? So I'm going to go back to the top here and just kind of go down this list of stuff that I jotted down real quick. Angel and anybody that's watching right now, if you have questions on what we're covering in this video or something from a previous video that I talked about or showed you guys, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions or go into more detail on something. But I'm an open book, guys. I'm really transparent. So I don't do anything illegal. I don't do anything sketchy and anything like that. So I don't have anything to hide. So all right, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to try to do this like straight, with no editing, without messing anything up, because I don't have my computer with me here at the hotel. So I'm just going to try to do this as clean as possible and get it uploaded for you. So all right, let's get started. How do you get started? I started off doing this, and this was like over 20 years ago, was on Auto Trader. Auto Trader's changed a lot since then. So lately, I guess it's been more of like Craigslist for me, but you can do local ads. Look for one owner vehicles. I used to always look for places that were kind of like out in the sticks, not in the city, but just kind of like out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere, because the street value of a vehicle in the city versus the street value of a vehicle out in a middle of nowhere is going to be two different things. So and plus, single owners, or not single owners, but one owner vehicles, they take care of it. They know the history of that vehicle, whether they took it into a shop or they didn't, but they know what's up with it. I personally like to get one owner vehicles, especially if you're from someone older, because they took care of it. It was more than likely a daily driver. So that's a good starting point right there. But you want a clean vehicle. You can check with friends, you can check with family, co-workers, etc. Starting off, I would say have a budget of about $1,000 to $1,500. That's a safe zone, or actually anywhere from $0 on up to about $1,500. Don't go into this thinking that this car is free, I'm gonna go ahead and sell it for $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. No, realistically, it's not going to work like that. Now, there may be times where you run across cars for free or almost next to nothing. That's great. That's fantastic. But, make sure you go through the proper steps to do this, and, don't get yourself in trouble, because if you sell too many cars, the state will send you a letter, a subpoena saying, hey, unless you're a dealership, you need to stop doing this. You're limited to X amount of cars or vehicles per year. But, so starting off anywhere from like $0 to $1,500, that's a good starting point. Because you don't want to get something that's like $3,000, but you can really only afford like $1,000. You want to have some cushion in between in case you need to get some parts, in case some kind of gremlin pops up. When you're going to sell the car to somebody and the brakes go out, or something crazy happens. You want to have something, a buffer, in the event something happens, to where you can cover something, or worst case scenario, take it out from the cost of the vehicle when you go to sell it. Um, if your budget allows you to go in a higher price range, 2,000 to 2,500, and you can still make a profit, go for it. Just know what the vehicle's worth before you buy it. You don't want to buy it at a premium and then not be able to make money off of it. Then you're going to be stuck with the vehicle. So you don't want to do that. Managing your budget. Keep a minimum amount of all times. Kind of like a bailout. Like I said, if something happens to where the car or the truck has a brake line that goes literally the day you go to sell it, or during a test drive or something like that, the alternator, the battery, something crazy, you want to make sure you have some money to take care of that, get that back on track, so the buyer's at ease, you're at ease, because if stuff starts happening, they're going to get kind of concerned, like, whoa, is this kind of pieced together? Is it going to fall apart on me as soon as I, get it in my driveway, or before I even get to my driveway? So yeah, make sure you keep a budget. Know when to buy the vehicle. Also, if you're working on another vehicle that you're looking to sell, and you found something else, don't deplete that safety stock of money, or that cushion money, because in the event that something happens with the vehicle you're working on and you need more parts, you're not going to have the money you need, and then you're going to be stuck with that vehicle. And as time goes on, you're going to sell it at a much lower price than what you want it, and not make money, or actually have a loss on it. So you don't want that. Let me see here. Your local part stores. Keep a good relationship with the local part stores. Sometimes you can open up a commercial account. If you don't have a commercial account, if you know someone that works there, sometimes they'll bring up an account that they have, an existing commercial account. If you're doing cash, you can buy the parts at a discount. So every little bit helps, because if you're buying these parts at a discount, that's more profit for you. So you can add that to the cost if you're doing that work yourself. It's a good way to do the repairs, have receipts, and just keep everything legit. But another thing also, let's see here, staying consistent to keep money coming in. So you want to look for clean, solid, sound cars, trucks, SUVs. Don't get sold. Don't let the seller sell you. Kind of pushing you to buy the vehicle, or that's red flags immediately. So you want to get into something where you really know you're gonna make some money off this. Now, living in the Midwest, it's a very seasonal type of process, because summertime is my main focus time. Wintertime, kinda, but summertime's the main focus though, because my target was always, high school students, college students, first time drivers, something where the money was guaranteed, meaning mom and dad was paying for the money, or if the kid, had a summer job or something, save some money up to buy a car, that's cool. Don't get into a situation where someone's like, well, can I give you X amount of money to hold it, or can I give you payments? Don't do that. It almost always never works out. So, you end up getting screwed on that. So don't do that. But, if you're advertising, Craigslist or whatever, you can put a note on the bottom there, somewhere in there, saying, not going to hold, not going to do payments, not going to, do any kind of structured payments on this. This is just a cash deal. First person with the money gets it. That's it. Don't get yourself in a situation where you commit to somebody who doesn't have money. You got other buyers who are ready to buy, or may even offer more to kind of bump their space up in line so that they can get this. I've been through those situations, and you don't want to get caught in all that. It's crazy. All right, so I got a list of stuff here so I can stay on topic. But all right, so what to avoid? Seasonal purchases. So for example, you don't want to be, if you're living in the Midwest, or if you're living in an area where it's cold, you don't want to be, or icy, you don't want to be trying to sell a Mustang or a Corvette or something in the wintertime. It's not going to move as fast. But now if it was like an all-wheel drive vehicle, or a four-wheel drive vehicle, a truck, a crossover, whatever, something like that, you're good year-round, wintertime, summertime, whatever, you can do that. That'll go soon. You just don't want to be in a situation where you're sitting on vehicles for a long time. It's not going to be good. see here. And if you don't know what to look for, bring a mechanic, bring somebody who knows the vehicle. If you don't know anyone, if you know what the car is, look it up online. 9 times out of 10, there's a forum or a group, an owners group online that'll have a service bulletin and information on common things that go wrong or fail or stuff like that. So try to educate yourself as much as you can. If you can't bring a mechanic with you or someone who's mechanically inclined to look at these vehicles for you. Let's see. One thing that I saw was on TV on Monster Garage years ago when I was younger. The main guy, Jesse, I can't think of his name right now, but he had made a quick little comment on there saying, he learned quick, don't buy cars in the rain and don't buy cars at nighttime. At the time I was too young to really understand what he meant. But after doing this stuff, man, I can tell you that is very, very true. That's some good information. You don't want to buy in the rain because in the event there's some paint issues or defects or flaws, when a car is wet or the vehicle is wet, it's going to mask that. It's going to hide that, and you won't be able to really see that. You really want to be careful with that. And at nighttime, you want to be in a situation where the sunlight, if you look up under it, the sunlight is going to kind of help, show you some stuff under there that you wouldn't be able to see at night. Even if you had a flashlight, it's always still good to see something, in the daytime. So try to avoid nighttime purchases and purchases in the rain if you can. Unless you know the car, unless it's like a friend of yours, a family member that has the car, and you know the car, then that's definitely an exception there. So let me see, VIN numbers. Make sure that stuff matches. Make sure the VIN tag and the VIN number on the title match. If they don't match, you probably won't be able to get a title for it. Now you're going to be stuck with the vehicle that doesn't have a matching title, and there's a reason why that happens. If it's a bad title, fake title, stolen vehicles, somebody swapped VIN tag, something up there. Make sure you confirm that before you pull any kind of money out and pay for a vehicle. I also typically avoid V6 engines and V8 engines and forced induction engines. I try to keep it simple. Like I said, my main target was high school kids, college kids, first-time drivers. Their parents want something that's going to be reliable, something that's low maintenance, something, good tires, good brakes, good exhaust. If you have e-check where you live, you want to make sure it passes the e-check or emissions check. Some states have inspection, but the main things like that, they want to make sure it's good. No leaks, no gas leaks, no brake fluid leaks, stuff like that. Try to avoid buying somebody's project. Don't buy a souped up Mustang or a souped up import or whatever the car may be. That's just asking for headaches. It's a very slim chance that the car is going to be problem free and just ready for a 6-hour commute somewhere and back, or a road trip. That's not really going to be too likely. So try to avoid the modified vehicles, trucks, cars, whatever it may be. Lift kits, performance upgrades. If it's got a crazy paint job on there, like a real custom paint job, well, why is it painted? Did it get into an accident and somebody just gave a shiny paint job as a distraction so you can, ignore the telltale signs of replaced headlights or taillights or trim, stuff like that. Something they're trying to hide with a fancy paint job. Don't get caught up in all that stuff. That's when it pays to bring a mechanic or someone or a body person who knows what to look for. They can tell you, well, the door jambs have filler in there, or there's some dust from a body shop, stuff like that. You want to kind of keep an eye out on. It's really easy to miss that stuff if you don't know what you're looking for. Next thing, the budget. Start off with vehicles that run and drive. Don't get a vehicle, someone says, well, it just needs a starter. Okay, well, if it just needed a starter, they should have replaced the starter. You don't want to get in there, replace the starter, and the vehicle still doesn't run. Then you find out, it's got a broken timing belt or a timing chain, something like that. Don't take someone's word for it. It's not a lot of honest people out there, so they're probably going to try to sell you a headache. Because once you give them the money, it's a done deal. So drive the car, try to get it on a cold start. Don't get there, you meet somebody and the car's been running, they've been driving it. If it's got issues starting up, you won't know until you go to do it the next day. Cold start meaning it hasn't been driven after several hours, or it sat overnight and then you went to go start it. I don't mean like a cold start in the wintertime, but just the engine's not warm. So yeah, make sure you definitely check it out. Make sure that it's got everything's in check. You really want to make sure this is something that if you had a younger sibling or your kid or your parents, something, it was a safe, reliable vehicle for them, because that's what the buyer's going to want too. So very important there. Test drive the vehicle, make sure it runs, make sure it drives good. As far as the budget, another thing also is, do you have any tools? Do you have a garage? How much knowledge do you have of vehicle maintenance? Because if you don't have tools, garage, or knowledge of this stuff, now it's going to cost you a little bit more to have somebody else who does get the vehicle up to a good condition where it can be driven on the street, and then you can sell it. Because now you got to pay that person, you got to pay for those parts, and the profit you thought you were going to make might be smaller now. So it's a good experience because you can learn from it. You can watch them. You can learn what they did, see what they did. There's basic tools you can do to kind of get through a brake job, to get through battery replacement and exhaust, suspension. You don't need a fancy toolbox that costs you thousands of dollars. You can do it with some basic tools. So, if you don't have any tools starting off, a good set of basic hand tools, wrenches, sockets, deep sockets, shallow sockets. With the brakes, you need a different wrench. You don't use your standard wrench in there because you can round out the nuts on there, so you got to be careful, or the fittings. But let's see what else. Your capabilities. Can you sell? Are you shy? Do you have good communication? Can you fix cars? It's a lot more than just getting a car and then trying to sell it. The buyer's going to have a ton of questions, just like you should, with that buyer or that seller when you go to buy the vehicle. So, can you sell? Can you say, hey, the car has this, this, and this, and this. Have you owned the car long enough to know what it needs, what works, what doesn't work? The buyer's going to ask you a lot of questions, and you want to make sure you can answer this stuff. You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, well, I don't know. Because at that point, they're going to be like, well, they don't know much about this vehicle. Am I buying a headache? Or is this vehicle good or what? So make sure you're good there. Let's see here. Do you have any tools? Yeah, we covered that. A mechanical friend, a mechanic, somebody that can go with you, check this stuff out. How much time can you invest in this car from the point of purchase to the point of selling? At the time when I was doing this stuff, I was young. I was living with my parents. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have kids. I didn't have any responsibilities outside of work and school. So, my free time, my availability was awesome. But now having a wife, having a kid, having work responsibilities, a lot of responsibilities for work. So it's my time is super limited. But I try to do what I can. End of last year, I had to replace my wife's wheel bearings on her vehicle in the back. Now the front ones are going, so I got to get those done too. She needs some shocks and stuff. So it's stuff like that where if you know how to do it, you can save yourself a lot of time. If there's another vehicle they can drive in the meantime, now the urgency really isn't there. You can knock it out, at your own pace. So yeah, make sure you definitely know how much time you can invest in this. What else? Let's see. Are you doing this by yourself? Like I said before, check on forums, check the service bulletins, bring a mechanic to see the vehicle so they can tell you, what's up with the vehicle or what they think. Also, you could do a pre-sales inspection at a dealership. So if it's a Ford vehicle, if it's a Chevy, it's a Jeep, a Dodge, whatever, you can take it to that type of dealership. They'll charge you for it, but what they'll do is go through and check the essential parts of the vehicle, make sure everything's working. If there's an issue, they'll let you know. But if it comes back with a clean bill of health, you can bring that back to the seller. If it's got some issues, you can say, hey, well, they found this. They said it'll cost this much. Can we take it out the price of your asking price? Or can you meet me halfway? You're going to get into a situation where you're going to go back and forth with some numbers. Also, be honest. Tell the truth about what you know. If somebody says, does this work? Does that work? If you're not sure, tell them you're not sure. If you know that it works, then yeah, go ahead and tell them it works. Yeah, but don't get into a situation where, you're lying, because now this can turn into a legal situation. This person can, they're going to have your address. They're going to have a lot of personal information now. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you lied just to make the sale and get some money, and the car is bad. People get into some crazy situations over that. People get hurt. People end up in the hospital. Like it's bad. Be honest. Don't try to cut any corners. No shortcuts. Don't try to lie just to get the money. Be honest. They'd rather appreciate. They'd rather you be honest, and they can appreciate that, so that they don't get into a situation where their safety's at risk now because you lied. This is very important. Be honest, no matter what. And if you don't know, it's nothing wrong with saying you don't know. Just be honest. I can't stress that enough. Just be honest. Especially be safe too. Meet in a public place, a gas station, a police station. If it's somebody sketchy, if it's somebody who's up to something, they're not gonna want to meet in a public place like that. Get their vehicle information, get jot down the license plate number, or take a picture of it if you can. As they're checking out the vehicle, you go, get a quick picture on your phone of their license plate, just in case something happens. If they want to test drive or something, make sure they have their license. Take a picture of the license. Just to make sure you're covered in the event something happens. If the license is expired, see if they got somebody else with them that can drive, or you just be the driver and take them for a ride. But again, with that, be careful, because now you're putting yourself at risk with some people who might be sketchy. So unfortunately, that's the reality of it. Just gotta be careful. And then the last thing here is, don't keep the car too long or too short. Don't keep the car too long, because you're going to end up getting stuck with it, and you're going to keep it, and you're not going to sell it and make that money that you were hoping to make off of it. You don't want to keep it for a super short amount of time either, because at that point it's going to look kind of sketchy on the title when you only show that you've owned the car for like 2 weeks, and now you're selling it. People are going to be like, well, why are you selling it? Sure, it looks like you only had it for 2 weeks. And I've been in that situation too. You don't want to just come out and say I flip cars. A safe answer for me that I found was, I bought this, but then I found another car that I liked more, so I'm putting this one up for sale. At the end of the day, that's pretty much what happened. So just be honest. Know your capabilities, know your limits. If there's anything I missed in here, please comment below. Let me know what questions you have. Angel, I hope this helps you out. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Any of you guys watching, or ladies, whoever is watching right now, if you have any questions, please comment below. There's a lot more to this with flipping cars. This is just kind of like the basics, getting started. Just to kind of do this, it's really good money in this. It's really, really good money. All the cars that I own right now, I've purchased most of them before. I purchased most of them like most of them over 5 years ago. Some 10, like the Cyclone. I purchased that one, man, a long time ago. But I say all that to say this. So a lot of these cars I have right now, because of the profits that I've made in flipping cars, the cars that I bought that I kept for myself, I didn't really end up having to spend that much. So for example, something, if it costs $20,000, with a car that I flipped over time, just like within a year, that $20,000 car could have been $10,000, or it could have been $5,000, or depending on what kind of profits I made on this stuff, it could have been next to nothing. So, you really kind of help yourself out when you're purchasing something for you, a vehicle for you, or if you just want to save the money. I would really suggest that, saving the money, putting it towards a house, or putting it towards whatever, investing it. Don't just keep it rotating these cars around, but have an end goal to what you're going to do with that money. So there's a lot more I can explain with this stuff. I just don't want to take up too much time. We're already at about 25 minutes. So if you stuck around, thank you for watching. This information is, again, just based off of my experiences. There's a lot more to this stuff, but it's a really, really good way to make some money. I did get into a situation where flipping in Ohio back when I was younger, I want to say there's like a limit of like 6 or 7 cars you can sell without a dealer's license. And I got a nice little letter in the mail, subpoena, saying I can't do that, and if I continue, there's gonna be some court action involved. So you want to make sure that you don't get yourself in a situation where you get into some legal trouble, whether it's selling too many cars or selling somebody a bad car because you weren't telling the truth about something. And again, if you didn't know, you didn't know. But the buyer is buying that car as is. There's no warranty you can offer. So just be upfront with them. Just know, like I said, my target was high school kids, college kids, first time drivers, because mom and dad was putting the money up. It wasn't any kind of that negotiation where someone wants to do payments or hold the car and all that kind of stuff. You don't have time for all that. Mom and dad, they're looking for a safe car. They're looking for good tires, exhaust, brakes, good fuel mileage. That's why I stuck with 4 cylinders. It's low maintenance, and that's it. Parents don't want to give their kid or their student a crazy expensive car. They want to give them something that they can get back and forth from school to home in or school to work in, and that's it. It doesn't have to last 20 years, but just enough to get them through school, and then whenever it dies after that. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please let me know below. Thanks for watching. I got a lot of awesome stuff coming up for you guys. I have a lot of footage I've been recording since like Thanksgiving, but my computer crashed. I couldn't get it uploaded, so it's a whole bunch of stuff coming that's going to be like older stuff, but not too old. I mean, maybe 2 months old, but on up to recent stuff. So I've been recording a ton of footage. I'm going to drop a crazy bomb for you guys coming up with some plans I have for 2020. I'm super excited. It's going to be awesome, and really excited to share this with you guys because it does involve you guys. So yeah, this is going to be pretty fun. It's going to be really fun. So all right, guys, it is 3:36 in the morning. I gotta get my day started for work in about 2 hours, so I'll talk to you guys later. Heading back to Indiana later today, and gonna have some more videos coming for you. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Let me know how you liked the video, and if you want some more info on this kind of stuff, flipping cars, buying used cars off Craigslist. I did a video for that a few months ago. It was real basic, but there's still a lot more to that I can add. So if you're interested in getting more info on that, let me know. I'd be happy to share that. So, all right, guys, happy flipping. There's great money involved with that stuff. And, be safe, be careful, and tell the truth. Tell the truth. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.